Hi, I'm Alex. If you see this video, you might be a little confused because A, I haven't posted in over 4 years, and B, this is very different from what I have posted in the past. But hi, this is what my face looks like. I'm Alex, the person behind the channel It's My Art Garden, formerly known as It's My Art Fam, and I will be talking about the reason for that change and the change that I've experienced as an artist in the past few years. Like a lot of artists, I started drawing the things that I like the most, which for me was fandom art. Some of my earlier fandoms included Marvel and Steven Universe, but eventually that grew to include a lot of anime fandoms too, which I think is what I'm most known for, especially since I wrote a very popular My Hero Academia fanfiction. And I really did love drawing fan art for a long time. I don't want this video to seem like I'm slamming fan art or like saying how much I regret it. I don't regret doing fan art at all. I learned so much drawing fan art. I learned like art composition. I learned how to post consistently on like social media. I learned how to connect with people on social media. Like fan art helped me build such a wonderful community with people on Instagram and social media in general, and I will always treasure that forever. But eventually my interests did start to change. While I did do my own original art throughout all this, I often found myself very hesitant to post it because whenever I did, it never really got that much attention, which obviously I understand because that's not what people followed me for. But to my young teenage self, it was very disheartening to experience that. So when I was making fan art for a long time, it was just out of joy and passion, but eventually it started turning into me just making fan art because that's what people expected of me and that's what they wanted. And for some time, I also carried a bit of shame about drawing fan art. I remember one time when I was applying for colleges while I was in high school, I participated in a portfolio review at CalArts, which CalArts is a very prestigious art school, and I was really nervous. And so I brought my portfolio, except my portfolio didn't really have that many original pieces in it, and it was mostly fan art. The guy that was reviewing my portfolio was very obviously trying to be nice, but he was looking at my little Steven Universe fan art and he was like, yeah, I mean, good colors, but like, you really shouldn't include fan art in your portfolio, which, like, in hindsight, yeah, of course, you shouldn't do that. But yeah, I feel like that was the first time where I realized, like, oh man, maybe if I mean, I wanted to be an artist when I grew up, so like, I probably should focus on my own original art. Also, if you want me to talk about my experience with art school and college in general, let me know. I can definitely go into that another time. It's a very long story. So, I didn't have my own portfolio, and I didn't feel very like professional drawing fan art. I just kind of felt like a little bit embarrassed about it, like it was just a hobby, and I wanted to be like a professional artist. I wanted to go to art school and the whole shebang. And so this tug of war kind of followed me around for a few years, and eventually my passion for fan art kind of spluttered out around the pandemic. I posted my fanfic during the pandemic, and I did continue to draw fan art for it to get more people to come to my art account. Um, but like, I stopped watching My Hero Academia after I posted that really, really long fan fiction. And yeah, I mean, 2020 was not great for anyone, I don't think, but it really was not good for me and my artistic passion. Yeah, so in 2020, I was kind of spiraling because I was realizing that the major that I chose wasn't for me. But in order to apply for another art school, I needed a better portfolio, especially because I would have been like a junior. I would have been going in as a junior. I did have original art because obviously I was able to make a portfolio and get into the first school that I wanted to. But the first school that I went to was not an art school. It was a general university with a very good art program, specifically animation. That's what I went for, and I was pretty good at animating. But yeah, I decided I didn't want to do animation anymore and I wanted to go to an actual art school. And so I needed a better portfolio, which I didn't really have, honestly, because I did spend most of my time on fan art. And you might be wondering, why couldn't you do both at the same time? Well, my art style was very, at the time, my art style has changed greatly. My art style kind of took forever. It was very detailed, very line art heavy. I can show you some examples here. But yeah, I often spent over 20 hours on a single piece. That also led to me being insecure and comparing myself to other artists because I would see my peers or people online being able to whip out amazing masterpieces in like so quickly. And I was like, how are you guys doing this? My wrist hurts. So yeah, TLDR, I just basically was unsatisfied with the work that I was producing, and I wasn't the artist that I wanted to be. And posting fan art on social media kind of just led to me having a bad relationship with social media and my fan art in general. And no one wanted to see my original art, so I just stopped posting entirely. But I didn't actually stop making art. I actually think this was the period of my life where I made the most art ever. I just didn't share it with the world. I dropped out of college for a little bit. Then I was able to explore some other things, got a part-time job, and I was kind of just making whatever I wanted. I got into polymer clay. I got into sculpting in general. I did a lot of digital art, but I also was really moving more towards traditional art actually. I was doing like painting and all sorts of things. I eventually did go back to college. I did an online school and I did an interdisciplinary arts major, which basically means I couldn't pick something to do. So I decided to everything. And I was literally the only person to graduate from this major in my year. Yeah, when I graduated and they were like announcing all the people who had graduated from each and every major, I was the only name on there. It was a really good major. It kind of made me into like a jack of all trades. You know, I did, of course, the sculpting. I did lino printing, which was new to me. I did wood burning. I had to, since it was online, I had to buy all the tools myself. But since it was online, a lot of the classes were pre recorded. So I was able to just, it kind of just felt like following YouTube tutorials, honestly, which I liked. So yeah, do not regret going back to school. And it was nice because I wasn't posting art. There was no pressure from the algorithm, no nothing. But I did find myself missing the community that I had found within my fandom spaces. And so I kind of started feeling that itch to start posting again. So I still had my It's My Art Fam Instagram and TikTok and everything. And again, slowly I started posting my original art and I would lose followers and I would try not to take that to heart. And then my friend Sam, also known as Medicinal Minimalism, it's so hard to say that. She and I both decided to start posting consistently at the same time. She had not really had an Instagram account and I had like 1,500 followers in my anime account, but we basically committed together to start making reels and posting like 2 or 3 times a week at least. And she really blew up because her niche is floor living. She lives on the floor and she talks about it, and it's interesting, but she blew up because like no one else really does that. And her content's really good. You should definitely go check her out. I think it's a really interesting way of living and she's very smart and ecologically friendly. And I started posting more reels and basically posting more consistently on my current Instagram page. And you might wonder why I didn't decide to just start all over. Well, it's because even though I knew I was going to lose a lot of followers, I knew that some people would at least care about my original art. And, you know, maybe some people wanted to stick around. I also just had a lot of friends and family following that page. A lot of people I didn't talk to on a daily basis. So I just felt like it would have been simpler to take the hit, lose a few followers, but like transform my account basically. So I began archiving old posts and began cautiously sharing what I was actually interested in. And yeah, I did lose quite a few followers. I think in the first month of me deciding to post again, I was gaining as many followers as I was losing. So it was kind of just like a little plateau. And at the time, I had gotten into gouache painting, which is super fun. If you've never done it before, I highly recommend checking it out. It's like a mix between watercolor, which I'd always struggled with, as well as a mix of acrylic, which I liked, but I don't like how it kind of turns into plastic. That's something I've always struggled with acrylic, how quickly it dries. And the great thing about gouache is that it's not as difficult as watercolor, in my opinion, but it still kind of acts like watercolor. Like you can reactivate it, but it is still very opaque the way acrylic is. So I just had a bunch of fun with gouache for a while. A lot of the pieces that I started posting were of my gouache experimentations. It was a lot of landscapes, a lot of nature imagery, and it was really refreshing. And I kind of found myself not really being as bothered by the amount of people unfollowing me as I thought I would. It was still annoying, don't get me wrong. It's like it's so hard to not be attached to the numbers. But it was also really exciting to then be gaining followers that were actually interested in the art that I was doing now. I feel like I'd never really had that before, or I'd never really given myself the opportunity to push past the downswing and actually continue posting my original art for people to see and gain people that actually liked it, you know? And also doing this with my friend was amazing. We encouraged each other. We were both experimenting with like trial reels and doing different things. And we encouraged each other and just kept each other going. And eventually it began to feel that I wasn't exactly just starting over. I was just building something that felt more like me, you know? Also, social media and Instagram especially had really changed since I had last been posting on Instagram. Reels are now very popular, and that kind of obviously, it requires more work than just posting a finished piece. And I know a lot of artists really hated this change. I know it's kind of like you gotta perform, you gotta advertise, but like I kind of like doing it. I don't mind making reels at all. It was difficult to get in front of the camera, and I know a lot of people really recommended getting in front of the camera and like letting your audience get to know you, like know the story behind the art. I don't know if you can tell from the quality of this video, but yeah, I'm still new to being in front of the camera. And one of the things that really held me back was that, like, I kept telling myself, oh, I'll start posting videos of myself once I have a better studio setup. Oh, I'll start posting more when I X, Y, and Z. I literally was giving myself any fucking reason to not do this. I would look at other artists and see their amazing gallery walls and their organized shelves and their great lighting. And I would look at my own space and think, I'm not there yet. This back wall is definitely new. It was very barren for a long time. Social media is just so interesting to me because I am like very inspired by the people that I see and the people that I follow. But also, goddamn, is it hard to not compare yourself to them constantly. And again, this is where my wonderful friend Sam came in clutch because she was just like, girl, just do it. Just get in front of the camera and say what you need to say. And she led by example and just got in front of the camera and is now really good at like just talking to people and just I hope to be as confident in front of the camera as she is. And so yeah, I guess I just like jumped into it. I do really agree that getting in front of the camera has helped me build my community more. It is really scary, but I also do get a lot of very nice comments from people and I've been able to like build connections with people all across the world just from us bonding over each other's art and oh our workspace and oh this and that and oh what colored pencils do you use, you know? And so my account started growing. I started posting consistently in like May, and I went through that rough period of like plateauing, basically losing the same amount as I was gaining. But as of now, which is August, I have like a little over 3,000 followers on Instagram. I'm really bad at cross posting, so everyone on TikTok gets my videos very late, and I've been trying to post YouTube shorts, but I don't think I'm going to stick with it. I know I don't have the time to cross post constantly, honestly. I think I'm just going to focus on Instagram. And yeah, it's been very exciting to grow the way that I am. And it makes me really excited for the art that I'm wanting to do in the future. So I've also committed to basically rebuilding my portfolio. And in doing that, I decided I wanted to inject some more storytelling into my pieces. You know, when I was just first starting to do my original art again, I was kind of just painting whatever felt cool. And it is nice, you know, but I wanted a sort of cohesiveness about my new portfolio, and I wanted people to know what my art pieces were about without me even saying anything about them. And my art style has kind of just gravitated to a more like cozy, cottagecore, naturey, whimsical girl kind of vibe. I'm still doing digital art, but it's definitely not as detailed as my previous art style was, mostly because like I'm working a 9 to 5 now. I got a big girl job, and so I needed to find an art style that didn't take forever so that I could actually post consistently on Instagram because Instagram does demand content very consistently. And I didn't want to be stressing myself out spending 20 hours on one piece like I used to. So, this is what my art style is more like now. I'm really happy with it, and in trying to interject more storytelling into my art, I realized, oh my god, wait a minute, these animal characters are super cute. What could I do with this? I really enjoy writing. I haven't really written fan fiction in a while, but I do enjoy writing original pieces too. I just, again, don't do anything with them. And if you are on the art side of Instagram, you know that mail clubs are super popular right now. So I started wondering, what if I started a mail club surrounding these little cute woodland creatures that I'm creating? Maybe I can turn them into actual characters and I could sell prints and stickers and so on and so forth. And so that's where I am now. I've been taking that idea and running, and it'll be about my creatures of Wildroot Woods. That's the name of the little story that I'm sort of doing. I'm creating character sheets, which I'm posting on my Instagram for each of the characters that are going to show up. My goal is to have a 5x7 print, two stickers, maybe three, and a short story that's like front and back, usually like 300 to 400 words, and each story and print and everything will be related to the month that it's released in. So October-y themed story, and usually it'll focus on a particular character or pair of characters. So basically, as the months go by, you get more and more of the story, more and more of the lore behind Wildroot Woods, and you learn more about the characters each and every month. If this is something you're interested, definitely check out my Instagram. I will also be posting some videos about it on this channel, I'm sure. And yeah, that's what's been going on. That's why I've disappeared. But I hope to come back and start posting more consistently. Just it won't be the same stuff as I usually post. Which, if it's not your thing, I totally understand. Thank you for subscribing as long as you did. But if you do want to stick around and see this new journey that I'm on, I'll be posting a lot about my new mail club and just, I don't know, anything you guys want to hear. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. Any tips on starting a mail club? If you have experience with that, I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, see ya.